Hello, good day. How are you today? How are you today? You're fine, right? I am fine also, thank you. Today in mathematics, we are going to be learning about fractions. We are going to be learning about fractions. We are going to know the meaning of fractions and how fractions looks like. Are we ready? I hope we are ready. We are ready, right? Good. Let's go to today's business. So now, what do we mean by fractions? Fraction represents a part of a whole. It does what? Represents a part of a whole. This is a whole circle. As you can see, it's a whole circle. There is no divided part in it. So this is a whole circle. We said fractions represent a part of a whole. So in today's lesson, we'll know how a fraction looks like and how we can read our fractions, okay? Are we ready? We are ready, right? Okay, let's move on. We have a fraction here. In our previous picture, we saw that the circle was full, right? But in this picture, it's divided and one part is shaded. One part is what? Shaded. So this fraction is called 1 over 2. Remember, we said fractions represent a part of a whole. What do we mean by a part of a whole? A part that is shaded. Okay? Now, in fraction, we have what is called the numerator and the denominator. We have the numerator and the denominator. The up part is called the numerator and the down part is called the denominator. Did we get that? The up part is called the numerator and the down part is called the denominator. Now we said fractions represent a part of a whole and the numerator represents the fraction. It does what? It represents the fraction, which is the shaded part. The shaded part is 1. It's only one part that is shaded here, right? And the full circle is divided into 2, which is the denominator. So the denominator does what? It represents the whole part of the circle that is divided. And this circle that is divided into 2. So it's the denominator is 2 because the circle is divided into 2. We say the denominator represents the whole part of the circle. So we said we have the numerator and the denominator. The numerator is the upper number and the denominator is the lower number. The numerator represents what? The shaded part. That's what we said, right? Good. It represents the shaded part and the denominator represents the full circle that is divided, and this circle is divided into 2, so it's called 1 over 2. The fraction here is what? 1 over 2 because it's only one part that is shaded. Okay, now we are going to be moving on to the next one. Here we have a circle and it's divided into how many parts? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. The circle is divided into 3 parts. And how many parts is shaded? 1. One part is shaded. So how do we write our fraction? We say the numerator represents the shaded part, right? The numerator is the up number and it represents the shaded part, while the denominator represents the whole circle that is divided, right? So now we'll first of all write our numerator 1 over our denominator, which is how many parts did we count here? 1, 2, 3. So our fraction here is 1 over 3. 1 over 3. Is that correct? Because it's only one part that is shaded and the circle is divided into 3 parts. Here the circle is divided into 2 parts and one part is shaded, right? And here the circle, the denominator is 2 because it's divided into 2 parts, and here the denominator is 3 because it's divided into 3 parts. Do we understand? And this one on the upper of the fraction, which is called the numerator, it represents the shaded part. And how many parts is shaded? 1. Do we understand? Good. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We have here another circle. And how many parts is this circle divided into? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 parts of this circle. And how many parts is shaded? 1 part. 1 part is what? Shaded. So this circle will be, remember, the numerator is the upper number and it represents the shaded part, right? So our shaded part is just how many? 1. And our circle is divided into how many? 4. So we have 1 over 4. The shaded part here is how many? 1. And the circle is divided into how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have here 1 over 4. Remember, a fraction represents a whole object or number. And in this whole circle, only 1 part is shaded. So we have 1 over 4. Okay, do we understand? Good. Let's move on. Here we have another circle. And how many parts is the circle divided into? Are we ready to count? Okay, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The circle is divided into 5 parts. And how many parts do we see shaded? 1 part. 1 part is shaded. So our numerator, which is the upper number that represents the shaded part, will be 1. And our denominator that represents the full circle is how many parts? 5 parts. So our denominator will be 5. So we have 1 over 5. Okay? The numerator represents the shaded part, and the shaded part here is 1. And the denominator represents the full circle that is divided. And the circle is divided into how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 parts, okay? So we have here 1 over 5. Do we understand? Good. Here we have how many parts? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The circle is divided into 6 parts. And how many parts are shaded? 1. 1 part is shaded. And the shaded part represents the numerator, and the full circle that is divided represents the denominator. Remember, a fraction represents the whole object. So we have the shaded part here, 1, which is the numerator, and the object that is divided is 6 because it has 6 parts. Okay, do we understand? Good. I hope we're enjoying knowing about fractions. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Here we have another circle. And how many parts does this circle have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 7 parts. And how many parts are shaded? Let's count. 1. There's only 1 shaded part. Okay, so the shaded part represents the numerator, and the whole circle that is divided represents the denominator. And how many divided parts did we count? 7, right? Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We counted 7 parts. Okay, so we have here 1 over 7. Do we understand? Good. We have the next one. Here we have a square. We have a what? Square. And how many parts is the square divided into? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's divided into 8 parts, and how many parts are shaded? One part is shaded. So the shaded part represents the fraction, right? Which is the numerator, correct? And the whole object represents the denominator, which is divided. And how many parts is our square divided into? 8 parts. Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is divided into 8 parts. And our fraction here is 1/8 because one part is shaded and the object is divided into 8. Do we understand that? Good. Okay, let's move on to the next example. Here we have a circle. And how many parts is our circle divided into? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is divided into 9 parts. And how many parts are shaded? One part. One part is shaded. And remember, the shaded part is the numerator, which is the upper number, and the denominator is the whole object that is divided. And how many parts do we have here? We have 9 parts. So the denominator is what? 9. That's correct, right? So we have 1/9 because one part is shaded and the object is divided into 9. Correct? Okay, so we understood it, right? Let's move on to the next one. Here we have a circle, and how many parts is our circle divided into? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And how many parts are shaded? One part. The one part represents the numerator, and the whole object that is divided represents the denominator. And the denominator, we counted the parts that are divided. We counted how many? 10. Okay, we got that right. Good. Let's see another example. Here we have a circle and it's divided into how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. And how many parts are shaded? Let's count. 1, 2. 2 parts are shaded. Remember, the numerator represents the shaded parts, and here we have 2 parts are shaded, and the full circle is divided into 4, which is the denominator. So we have 2/4. 2 parts are shaded. Okay, and the circle is divided into 4. I hope we understood, right? We have done so many examples, right? Good, for us to understand better. Okay, let's go over to another example. Here we have a circle, and how many parts is our circle divided into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and how many parts is shaded? Let's count. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 shaded parts, and the upper number, which is the numerator, represents the shaded parts. So our numerator is 3 and our denominator is 6 because the denominator represents the whole object that is divided, and our objects, our circle, is divided into how many parts? 6 parts. Okay, you understood that, right? Good. We have another example here. We have a circle here, and how many parts is our circle divided into? 8. And how many parts are shaded? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 shaded parts. So our numerator, which is the upper number, is 4, and our denominator is 8 because the 8 represents the whole object that is divided. I hope we understood, right? Good. So we'll have to practice to know more about our shaded parts. Okay, here we have write out the correct fraction answer. We have a circle here. You have to count out how many parts are divided and what? Correct. Okay, we have another one here. You do the same and write out your answer. Okay, and do the same in the next and write out your answer. You count how many is divided into and how many parts are shaded. Okay, do we understand? Correct. Bye.